When I first dropped into Fortnite, I thought it was just a game. A very colorful battle royale with goofy skins, wild mechanics, and a lobby full of strangers all racing for the same victory royale screen. I didn't think it would teach me anything beyond building better walls or landing in the right spot. I didn't imagine it would become something bigger. Something that would shape the way I approach challenges, creativity, and even my own mindset. But over the years, Fortnite became more than just a game. It became a mirror reflecting my strengths and weaknesses. It became a teacher, testing my patience, resilience, and adaptability in ways I didn't understand at first. It gave me victories and many defeats, but it also gave me a different perspective. Fortnite has pushed me to my limits, taught me lessons I'll never forget, and even taken things away from me. At the same time, it opened doors, gave me direction, and gave me the tools to start building the life I've always wanted. From content creation to fitness to overall personal growth, this is the story of how Fortnite shaped my life, hurt me, healed me, and ultimately became the foundation for everything I've been chasing today. When I first started to play Fortnite, I was just another kid trying to keep up with my friends. They were already building insane structures, editing faster than I could comprehend, and pulling off plays that made me feel completely outmatched when I'd be in the same game as them. Meanwhile, I was barely surviving my first few fights, fumbling through basic mechanics, and getting eliminated before I even got a chance to do properly. At first, it was very frustrating. I felt like I would never catch up, but slowly, something started to click. I wasn't just playing to have fun anymore, I was playing to improve. Every loss, every elimination, every failure became a motivator. I spent hours figuring out mechanics, experimenting with strategies, and testing what worked and what didn't. The first time I actually managed a clean edit under pressure, I felt a surge of excitement that was almost addictive. That little win made all the previous failures feel worth it. Fortnite wasn't just about winning anymore, it became about the process. I wanted to see how far I could go, and in the background, I didn't even realize it, a mindset was forming. One that would carry me far beyond the game itself. Every match taught me something about patience, observation, and planning. Every fight taught me about pressure, risk, and how to make quick decisions. And slowly the small improvements stacked together, forming the first building blocks of skills I would later apply to my life, content creation, and self-growth. But as Fortnite became more than just a hobby, it started to consume more and more of my life. I stayed up late telling myself just one more match, even when I had school, work, or other responsibilities the next day. I skipped hanging out with friends or missed family events, convinced that every hour away from the game was wasted. I obsessed over stats, how to perfect my mechanics, and perfect strategies, pouring energy into something that didn't just affect my evenings, but began to infiltrate my entire schedule. At the time, I thought it was dedication. This was the only way to get good. But the obsession started to take a toll. My body felt drained, my focus waned, and the thing I loved, the game itself, started to feel like a weight. I burned out, not just from the grind, but from the imbalance I had created. Fortnite had become both a passion and a burden, and during those dark periods, I questioned whether I ever wanted to keep playing. Was all this effort worth it? Was it hurting me in other areas of my life? Those were tough lessons, and they didn't come easily, but in hindsight, losing balance taught me one of the most important things about my life, that every pursuit requires moderation. Without balance, the very thing that drives you can start to consume you. And while I stumbled, that stumble became the first step toward understanding the importance of pacing myself, valuing other parts of my life, and not letting obsession define me entirely. Even in those low points, though, there was something inside me that refused to quit. Fortnite was frustrating, exhausting, and sometimes even painful, but I couldn't deny the love I had for it. Instead of quitting completely, I found a new way to channel my energy. Content creation. At first, it was very small, posting clips, creating mini guides, trying to explain what I was learning to others. But as I dove into content creation, everything started to shift. Suddenly, Fortnite wasn't just a game I was playing for myself. It became a tool to share, connect, and help others, and that gave me some purpose. The process of creating videos forced me to think differently. I had to plan, script, record, edit, and polish everything. Every loss in a game became a story I could tell, a teaching moment for someone watching later on. Every clutch win became an inspiration. I wasn't just building my skills in game, I was building my voice, my style, and this channel. Slowly, people started noticing. Subscribers came, comments started rolling in, and the encouragement fueled me to keep going. The same game that had burned me out now became the foundation for a dream I'd been too afraid to chase. Fortnite had hurt me, but it also opened the door to something bigger than I ever imagined. A path toward turning a passion into a career, and turning lessons learned in game into lessons that shaped my life and are helping you guys shape yours. Now, Fortnite taught me lessons that went far beyond aiming, building, or winning. It taught me patience, the kind that comes from putting in thousands of small repetitions without immediate reward. My channel, much like my gameplay, didn't blow up overnight. I spent months creating content, testing formats, failing, and adjusting everything. But the patience I learned grinding fights, landing edits, and improving slowly translated directly into my approach towards content creation. Adaptability was another skill Fortnite instilled in me. Each new season changed the meta, added new mechanics, and forced players to rethink all of their strategies. If you didn't adapt, you fell behind. fact. Creating content requires the same mindset. Algorithms shift, trends evolve, and audience expectations change. Staying rigid would have led to my stagnation, but embracing change allowed me to grow my channel while learning more about myself. Resilience became vital. Losing countless fights, being third-partied, or simply making a mistake under pressure forced me to queue again, to get better and to not let failure define me. In real life, as a creator, not every video succeeds, but the resilience Fortnite ingrained in me made failure less intimidating. Losing doesn't mean stopping, it's just a part of the process. Teamwork taught me trust and communication. Initially, I didn't want to rely on anyone, but Fortnite showed me the power of collaboration. Translating that into consecration, I learned to take advice, work with other creators, and accept that I didn't have to build my dream entirely alone. Confidence came next, and it was earned the hard way. Fortnite can humble you instantly, but success in the game or on your channel is about believing in your preparation. Finally, balance. The lesson I learned the hard way became essential. Without balance, I couldn't maintain progress, but with it, I became stronger in every way, physically, mentally, and creatively. Fortnite has been both a curse and a gift. It demanded time, energy, and much of my focus, sometimes at the expense of my health, my sleep, and some even of my relationships. Those moments of imbalance were real, and they left scars, but those same challenges taught me resilience, self-discipline, and the importance of pacing myself. What could have been just wasted obsession became the fuel for creating content, building a community, and taking control of my life. The lessons learned from those struggles, patience, adaptability, resilience, teamwork, confidence, and balance, became tools that I applied outside the game. Fortnite hurt me, but it also healed me, giving me the perspective to come back stronger, smarter, and more focused. The most profound impact Fortnite had on me was inspiring me to create. Playing alone is one thing, but sharing knowledge, telling stories, and connecting with an audience transformed the way I approach both the game and my life. I learned how to break down complex skills into digestible advice, how to communicate clearly, and how to be authentic in front of a camera. Each video became more than entertainment. It was a reflection of the lessons I had internalized, the struggles I had overcome, and the mindset I was building and still currently am building. By turning my gameplay into content for you guys, Fortnite gave me a path to my dream life. I began to see that same principles that made me good in game could also make me as successful as a creator. Patience, consistency, adaptation, and the courage to try again even after all the failure I've had. The grind that once consumed me now fueled me. I was no longer trapped in a cycle of exhaustion and imbalance. I was building something bigger, a brand, a community, and a platform for myself. Today, the lessons Fortnite taught me aren't just theoretical, they're actionable. I'm building a career as a full-time YouTuber, a path I never could have imagined without this game. I'm working on my body, creating a healthier and stronger version of myself every single day by going to the gym. I'm developing a mindset that's resilient, confident, and focused, and the tools to do all of this came from Fortnite. Discipline from grinding, resilience from setbacks, patience from improvement, and adaptability from ever-changing metas. Fortnite taught me that dreams are built incrementally. You don't wake up with a perfect life. You build it piece by piece, day by day, just like you build walls, edits, and rotations in game. Remember, not one day, day one. The game gave me setbacks, yes, but those setbacks became lessons, the frustration became fuel, and now I'm using those lessons to construct the life I've always wanted, one goal at a time. Fortnite is more than just a game to me. It's a mirror, a teacher, and a test to me. It has hurt me, taught me, humbled me, and empowered me. It has shown me my weaknesses and my strengths. It has broken me down many, many times, only to give me the tools to build back stronger and become better. And now, as I look toward the future, I see a life shaped by those lessons, a life where I can pursue my dreams, maintain balance, and continue growing in every aspect and area of my life, even Fortnite. So yes, Fortnite might just be a game for most people, but for me, it became the teacher that changed everything. The lessons I learned in lobbies, fights, and late night grinds aren't just about the game, they're about life itself, and the best part is, I'm still learning all about it.